Hello and welcome. We are here today for the season finale for Rookie Wednesdays. So we're trying to see who will win in the amateur class and who will win in the Rookie Championship. At the minute, at the front of the amateur field, I think you could say, with the point standings, is James Joyce on 210 points. He's won every round that he's raced out so far, with 2 out of the 3 rounds of the season. With Tom Davies in second position, only 11 points down on him. Cairo Samuel follows on 189 points, and then Ethan Paulson on 186, with Oliver Upton as well down in P5, and then Kevin Bakiri is also potentially a championship rival, I think you could say. But I'm also joined in the box with Zita. Zita, hello, how are you?
Good evening! Welcome back. Yes, you've got myself again tonight. It will be Rio leading the show, so blame him when things go wrong.
No, please don't.
It's all good. Yeah, first few laps are going through. I think we're just about to start their first flying lap of quali. So, yeah, genuinely all to play for. Double points. So, all of the points that... Hang on, I'm trying to remember the name of the Mustang. James Joyce has already accrued of 210. Is entirely what's on offer for a win here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, in the final round of the season, points are doubled, which is going to be quite interesting because it means that, you know, the likes of people down in P5 in the championship, you know, the likes of Oliver Upton and all that type of things, they're actually able to take a stand to these people that are just gone. I'll just go through the top 5 in the Rookie Championship at the minute. So we have Carl Banning, who's won every round out here this season. He's got first in round 1, first in round 2, and in round 3. He's looking to make it a 4th. He is on 210 points, with Richard Baird in second position on 193 points, with Sam Wheatley in third on 186. And then Lorenzo Cortini, the DMF driver, on 180. And then 5th in the Rookie Championship is Alexander Moland on 175. Obviously, these drivers do go under a drop round, so hence why Banning's only on 210 points. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very eventful race today. We're just in qualifying at the minute. Tom Davies is looking to, well... We were talking to him earlier, weren't we, Zita? And he was saying that he's looking forward for today, but it's just going to be a bit of a case of sit back and see what people do at the start of the race and then get your head down.
Yeah, sorry, my eyes are glued to the timing screens because already we have times coming in that are tumbling so quick. Gaps are, well, they were very close. They've just been opened out a chunk by Oliver Upton going fastest in all 3 sectors with a 28.222. But yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting one. It is all to play for. It genuinely is. I believe there's a drop round in this series.
There is, yes, there is a drop round.
So this is the race you don't want for it to be your drop round, because if you do, you're going to lose a lot of points against a lot of people. So irrespective of anything else, finishing is probably the most important thing you can do, because you will then score some points, and it's going to be twice as much as what you would have otherwise scored. So irrespective of where you are on the grid, I think just keeping your head down and ticking the laps off for everybody is going to be the important one.
Yeah, absolutely. These drivers are going to want to, like you say, get these points down, and if you're having the likes of, you know, your other rivals gaining points on you in the final round, it's not going to be great for the standings. Just seeing some people on the YouTube stream, JJ Possum says JJ's already taken the drop round. He joined the series 1 race late, so he needs a good finish either way. So yes, there you go. Then that's true. So he literally, whatever he gets today is his points.
That is very true.
That's quite interesting to see from him, because I guess that sort of changes the strategy for him. It's a bit more of, well, you've got to go out and
go out and go as fast as you can.
Yeah. Otherwise, you run the risk of other people doing better.
I was gonna say, I think the way, I think Tom said it earlier, was Joyce can still win the race, win the championship if he finishes second, but has the fastest lap, even if Dobson wins. No, not Dobson. Davis wins.
Yes, I think that is it.
If I remember that correctly.
So, hang on. No, so, if James Joyce wins this race, he wins it. Full stop, whatever. If Tom Davies wins the race and gets fastest lap, James Joyce will lose the championship. But if James finished second and Tom Davies wins it, and James Joyce has the fastest lap, he will win the championship by 1 point. So it's all to play for with these drivers. Very, very close at the top end of the field. I just want to say as well, we do have the driver of the day today, so I wouldn't put your cast in just yet, because you want to see who's out there. But if you're feeling like it's a bit early to put that in, and you want to support your friend or your teammate out there, do that, please. All you need to do is, if you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, you just need to do !vote, all lowercase, and then the space, and then the car of the driver. And that is the race number, may I say as well. So if you wanted to vote for Oliver Upton, you'd do !vote, space 96.
There we go. Also, quick thing, thank you Turbo Sphinx for the subscription over on Twitch.
Right then, so we're getting back to the action, and we're looking at the timing sheets. Oliver Upton is fastest overall and puts it on the front row, followed by Tristan Dobson, who goes, the gap to him is now 2.5 tenths. The fastest lap of the session today is a 1 minute 28.222. And it's funny, Oliver Upton is fastest in the second and third sector, but the first sector's time goes to James Joyce, the man in the Mustang who's won almost everything he's been out in. How do you think this is going to play out then, Zeta? Do you think it's going to be a bit more of a James Joyce show like we saw last time? Or do you think it's going to be the likes of some other people? Obviously, we're seeing now with qualifying going down to the final stages, we've only got, realistically, 2 laps remaining for the top leaders.
Yeah, I'm having a quick look. Joyce is on a hot one, by the looks of things, and is currently 4 tenths up, which would be enough to put him in second. So, being on that front row, will be on the inside of the front row, so isn't the easiest run in to that very tight first corner, but is doable. And indeed does go second, 0.148 off, continued on for another flyer. It's going to be a tricky one. There's a number of drivers that could do well. Any of the top 5, as we've seen all season, they are able to just get out and fly. So, regardless of anything else, I think we're going to see a lot of very close racing. I don't want to say what's going to happen, because I don't want to be the one to curse the commentator well and truly. We might see a red flag. I feel like of the track so far, this is the most likely, because there's nowhere to go on the exit of turn 1, and it's very, very tight. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to play for.
Hey, we'll have to see. Let's hope for not a red flag, because then it means that it's going to be a bit harder for these drivers to sort of reset their mentality, reset their minds, get the cars sorted, and it sort of stops everything from being as fluent as we want it. So the man that I'm looking at the minute is Carl Banning. That is the black, yellow and red car you're seeing on your screen. He is up at the minute by 0.2 of a second. If he retains this level of speed, he will take pole in his class for the rookies. And number 987 is doing exceptionally well in his championship, and he is leading it. Followed by Richard Baird, his championship rival is down in P11 overall, so there's a fair amount of cars between them. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fairly interesting race. There we go, the clock has struck 0, so these drivers are coming across the line now. Whatever lap they do now is what's going to happen. I don't think Banning will improve. If he does, only slightly, potentially up for a 1/10 of a second. Oh, he does. He takes provisional 5th overall. That's provisional pole in class. Let's see what Caradu can do, though. He's up by 1.5 of a second. It's only... Wow, what is that? Less than 100th of a second. Splitting the two here. So what can the number 3 car do? This McLaren.
I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but that is a hell of a livery on that McLaren.
For some reason, it hasn't worked, which is
it's the
fairly
old
annoying.
Jordan, Benson and Hedges livery.
Nice.
Which, if you're old enough to remember, fair play.
Oh dear, someone got on his way. That is
just stalled up by the BMW of... Which one was that? That was Thompson in the BMW, the 26th there, with a 36.287 is their fastest lap.
So there we go then. The racing has been completed, and that is your qualifying complete. So we're just getting ready now with these drivers so that they can, well, they can sort themselves out, can't they? And get ready for the racing. You know what, I'm very excited by this, to be honest, Eater. I think this is going to be a fairly, pretty exciting race with what's up for grabs. Obviously, everyone wants to be the champion. And, well, we're going to find out in 1 hour and 5 minutes who that will be. So there's only one car on the track at the minute. That is the number 58 of Kevin Bakiri. Just doing his final lap before he goes back into the pits now.
Interestingly, just before the time screen changed over, it was 3 different cars, all setting 3 taking a fastest sector each.
Wow, isn't that... Well, that's actually quite nice to hear as well, since a lot of these drivers will be... Well, it's not just a one driver domination. We saw earlier on Oliver Upton as obviously being the pole sitter from the get-go, but earlier on in the practice sessions he was topping the table as well. So obviously Oliver Upton is the favourite, well, one of the favourites to take this on for the championship. Obviously he's put it on pole, so it's going to be quite tough for him to mess this up. But with James Joyce starting beside you, you'd think he's a bit nervous, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but ever... I don't know how else to word this, but ever the consummate professionals that this lot seem to be, you generally don't tend to worry too much about the person next to you. As to who it is, you just race them as hard as they're going to race you.
That's a fair point, I guess. But with James Joyce on the inside for turn 1, do you think it's going to be a bit more of a James Joyce put it up the inside like the stamp send it, or do you think it's going to be an Oliver Upton go around the outside and pray?
It could go either way. A little bit of that is going to depend to some degree, and this is going to sound odd, to some degree on the ballast that these cars get. Ford was up. I can't remember exactly what it was up before we started, but the Aston was down 26 kilos, which is significantly more as a base point to start from. You're going to have to gain a lot more ballast to balance that up to start with that car.
Right then, so with that there, let's go over our grid. Number 27 is Rue Sousa. 26th is Michael Thompson, with alongside him Dave Everard in 25th. 24th is Ibrahim Dickman. 23rd is Alexander Molens. 22nd is Peter Tyler, followed by Daryl Longername. James Wiseman follows on for the top 20, and then Nazadou F. Don't know why it's done that, but Nazadou F is in 19th, with Sam Wheatley, the Toga Academy driver, number 22 in 18th. Cairo Samuel, the amateurs driver, down in P17, so not a great qualifying by him. Let's hope he can get back up there. P16 is Rudy Atkinson, the South African driver looking to make a name for himself, with Lorenzo Cortini in P15. Nick Lucci follows on with Josh Collett, the Ford Mustang Racing there in P13. 12 is Kevin Piqueri, and 11th is Richard Baird. The top 10 now goes on from Lee Tyler with Paul Mancunian following on. And then it's Emery Ozduru, followed by Tom Davies, the only Lexus on the grid, looking to make a bit of a name. P6 is Daniele Caradu, and P5 is Carl Banning, with Ethan Paulson in 4th, Tristan Dobson in 3rd, James Joyce in 2nd, and Oliver Upton is your man on pole.
That's the grid. We shall see how this goes. I genuinely don't want to call it, because it is really, really close across the board. If anybody has to come through the grid and come back up, I think it's going to take a chunk of luck.
Yeah, that's a fair point there, Zita.
I do think there was a couple of drivers that did well last week. Not to take anything away from them, but they did get a little bit lucky with errors and penalties for those in front of them. We did see quite a few almost like double pit stops worth of penalties coming for people from incidents they got involved in or caused, along with the relevant damage and what have you that comes from that sort of incident. So it's a little bit tricky. If you do drop down, you're going to, I think, particularly with how short and how fast this track is, you're going to need a little bit of luck. You pretty much go a lap down by taking a pit stop. So that's the kind of time frame we're looking at here.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be interesting. Timing it and being clean through your stop is also something that's going to be important. Is being down and away as close to that 30 seconds as possible. That's going to be a really, really important one, because if you're battling with somebody and you lose that extra second, that could make the difference between coming out in front or behind somebody.
Yeah, it definitely can. 30 seconds is a fairly long time. But here we are then. About 15 seconds remaining until these drivers will be getting on with the rolling lap.
10 seconds.
So obviously with James Joyce being absolutely just dominating with the past couple rounds, who do you think will be one of the favourites to win today?
I mean, starting on the front row, either Upton or Joyce. I'm going to go on a bit of a limb here. As an outside call, I wouldn't put Banning out of the order. Starting down in 5th, but we know that car's quick and was battling for positions further up the grid the last few races. If there's trouble in front or around, and can keep it clean, it's an outside chance. I potentially podium, possibly win if it goes really, really wrong for people.
Yeah, potentially. You know, it's one of these things. Carl Banning is a very, very fast driver. He's won every round this season in the rookie class. 210 points at the stop at the very top there. Richard Baird, his main competition down in P11, so 5 positions down. That's not really great for Richard as well, is it? You'd want to be up there with your championship rivals. How do you think he's sort of feeling at the minute, being quite far away from his main competitor?
It's going to take a chunk of pressure off. It's going to mean you're going to be more or less just looking for space and stay out of trouble. You're not going to be wanting to gain too much in the way of places. He's got a chunk of places he can lose out that first corner if it keeps him out of trouble.
Oh, you're talking about Carl.
Before being... So that's not a big deal. Baird, he's going to have to go for it. To some degree, he's going to have to make the space himself by putting that car potentially in slightly sketchier places to make that time up. But again, neither of them is out of the question. If, like I say, it's a very, very tight. The first 2 corners of this track, really, properly, are actually really, really quite tough to make work. And they're a good opportunity to make places, but they're a really good opportunity to get it wrong and lose a lot of places.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, these drivers now are wanting to make as many positions as they can, but the likes for Oliver Upton on the front row is just wanting to keep his position so he gets himself into a good position later on in the race. So here we are then, the drivers are in their formation lap. James Joyce is sat behind him out of his grid position for some reason. I'm sure he'll move over. But here we are. We're getting ready for the green light. And it's going to be coming any minute. Here we are then. So the 1 hour, 5 minutes remain. And it's green. It's 3 wide, 4 wide. 4 wide in turn 1. James Joyce gets collected back there. So James Joyce gets spun around. And it's absolute carnage in the first turn of the race. Cars are going everywhere like pinballs. I'm just seeing all the drivers that go up. Oliver Upton is the one leading, and it seems it will be a red flag.
I was about to say, that looks like that's been a red flag call. Yeah, sorry, that was my fault because of the commentator on that one. Blame me for it. Nobody should be going back out on track. Yeah, that was... I hate to say this felt slightly inevitable, but...
It was... We saw a lot there, didn't we?
Yeah, there was James a lot that happened at once. You saw more of what happened because I was following about halfway down the grid and I only saw the very top of it. So what did it look like from your point of view then?
Well, at the front of the grid, it was very much sort of, you know, these drivers, they were very crammed. A lot of them were wanting to obviously make as many moves as they can. And there was just 3 wide there with James Joyce in the middle. 2 cars came in, and it was sort of just a James Joyce sandwich. And he just got spun around, and then obviously that caused further chaos to pursue. More cars were stopping in the middle of the track, which just slowed everything down and caused a bit of carnage.
Fantastic. I did see the top of it, and there was a good number of 3 wides going into that, and yeah, just caught the end of that, and oops!
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. But yeah, now it is a red flag. So the race will get restarted with Oliver Upton.
It will get restarted. It will be restarted with a full formation lap. They will reset. We may see some penalties from all of that. There was a couple, as you can see on the... there's also somebody who managed to be disqualified, so that's actually impressive. Lee Tyler down in 27th is marked as disqualified, so not sure what that's all about. That may be just something they did at the end. but we'll see. Otherwise, yeah, there was a couple of incidents that picked up some penalties over qualifying, so that, again, anything that happens during the race, they're just adding to those problems. Coltrini from DMF in the 77s picked up 5 seconds, which was minor contact. 451 has managed to pick up major contact, that's 30 seconds worth of penalties. 66 with significant contact for 15 seconds, and the same for car 50.
So there we go then. They are not the penalties that they want. Obviously, Lorenzo Cortini, the DMF driver, is looking to take 3rd overall in the Rookie Championship, 6 points off of his rival Sam Wheatley, who, it's not really what you want when you're that far, when you're that close to your championship rival.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a headache to come back from.
There again, though. Then again, it's only 5 seconds. It could be worse. It's not the end of the world. You just need to get your head down and do your own race, I guess. And obviously, Wheatley starting, well, 1 place ahead. It's definitely the Sam Wheatley show right there.
Yeah. I mean, 5 seconds is some damage for the other driver, or just getting it a little bit wrong. Stop-go penalties, etc. are... drive-throws are, and yeah, stop-goes are always a plausibility for making mistakes. Actually, drive-throughs at this track could be make or break, because it's a track that you very much have to eat the curbs and push the limits as far as you possibly can. Now, some tracks, like we saw last week at Zolder, as everybody lines up on the grid, are fairly self-policing on the track limit front, because they've got grass or walls or both very close to the side of the track. So there's not really much of an encouragement, whereas here it's a much wider, more open track, and there is also lots of tarmac runoff area. So you can push it that little bit further without risk of ending up having a big accident. So that may be something we see play into things later on, is if people manage to pick up track warnings early on, you're going to have to start potentially backing it off slightly to just preserve that and not get any more.
Well, I've just seen at the front of the grid, James Joyce with a 30-second penalty. That must have been for the contact into turn 1. That is not what you want when you're fighting for the championship win. Obviously, his championship rival, well, one of the potential rivals, Oliver Upton, who's in P5, is wanting to, well, prioritise on this, not prioritise, sorry, counteract potentially. That's a good word maybe to use on this. But yeah, Oliver Upton is looking to sort of try and run away from everyone and just let the carnage pursue, I guess.
Yeah, we've just had that confirmed in Discord there. So yeah, car 25, James Joyce, 30 seconds, causing the lap 1 incident, resulting in a red flag. It has, unfortunately, car 66, the reason for DSQ there, was causing major incidents after the red flag. So yeah, much the same. There's, albeit the Joyce being on a controller, but there's a lot of people here with fairly hefty steering wheels these days, and they do have the potential to do some quite unfortunate damage to yourself if you get yourself caught up in them. So
yeah, definitely. The likes of these drivers here with the Fanatec's and stuff. We saw at the end of I think which race was it? I think it was FGT. No, it wasn't. It was Zolder. It was last week.
I was going to say it was
so last week. We saw it was a Lamborghini after the checkered flag just went flat out into another driver, and obviously that's not really what you want, is it? Especially if these drivers have very, well, like you said earlier, these wheels that they're using is, some of them are very pricey, and with that price comes the force feedback, and with the high level of force feedback causes, just if something like that happens, it could definitely cause damage to someone. We've heard of things in the past with streamers and esport drivers who actually get their wrists broken from a crash using racing wheels.
Yeah, Possum just saying, I have a 23 Newton meter wheel. So, yeah, there are things you can within the software if an impact of something too high. You can set them to cut out, but that is, I mean, there's still going to be a hell of a hit to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's no matter what you do with these races and with these wheels, it's never gonna fully feel like an actual car. I mean, obviously you have the Fanatec's and everything, which are very good at simulating the feel of the race car, but it's just not always going to be the same, is it? That's the same. That's the thing with the simulator as a whole, though. I think you're never going to fully get the full experience. Not now, at least. Potentially in the future. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining until we get on for our restart of the day. So, after seeing what happened there, what's your idea that's going to happen again for the restart?
Well, there's not going to be another red flag. So whatever happens now is going to be whatever happens. So hopefully the drivers will have been informed of this during driver briefing, etc., etc. So they will have been informed of all of this. They will have known it. It's all in the rules. There is only ever one red flag. So you would hope that they're going to back it off a little bit. I'm going to put the thing out and say all bets are off as to whether they will. It's the last round of the championship. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what you mean. I think I know what you're trying to say. I think it's just going to be quite interesting to see how these drivers react after that restart in the race. It's going to be very much, I think, defend and try not to lose as many positions as you can. But keep your nose clean as well, because, you know, these drivers are wanting to make sure that they stand their ground and don't fall back down the grid. And at a track like Red Bull Ring, it's very easily done by these drivers to sort of go off and make mistakes and drop back down the grid at the start. And, you know, it's one of these things where you're just going to have to do your own thing and stand your ground.
Yeah. It's also not the easiest of tracks to overtake in these cars. Unlike you see with Formula 1 and what have you, there's not the DRS, there's not all the extra widgets and gizmos. It is just down to raw brute force. So you can end up following somebody for a heck of a long time, and either hoping they make a mistake, or just getting a better drive out of one of the bigger corners. That's an interesting line for warming the tyres up from Cairo there, taking the F1 chicane.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just following them because they're somewhere in the middle of the grid, and that just completely derailed me.
Yeah, some of these drivers are having a bit of interesting tactics, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Right then, so let's have a little look at our grid again, whilst the drivers are following on. So, at the back of the grid, it's Anu. I always struggle with his last name. Ukugulu, I think that's how it is. I probably butchered that. Ruby Sousers in 26 with Michael Thompson, sorry. Then it's Dave Everard, Abraham Dickman, Alexander Molins follows on with Peter Tyler in 21st. Daryl Longname in 20th, with Sam Wheatley in 19th, Nasadu in 18th, with Cairo Samuel 17th, and Rudy Atkinson, South African driver for Valkyrie Performance, in 16th. Lorenzo Cortini, with the 5-second penalty, is in 15th position. At the minute, he's looking to try and make some advancements in the championship. Nick Lucci, the Brit, in 14th, with Josh Collett 13th, Ked Bakiri 12th, and Richard Baird in 11th, second in the the rookie championship, looking to make some more moves. Lee Tyler in 10th, with Paul Mancunian in 9th, Emery Ozduru in 8th, with Tom Davies, the only Lexus on the grid, is in 7th. That's Daniel Caradu in 6th, with Carl Banning in P5. And then it's Ethan Paulson, Tristan Dobson, James Joyce, and Oliver Upton. Perfect timing from us there with the grid, eh? As we're coming round for the green flag to be shown. That's interesting what James Joyce does, isn't it? He seems to just go there to the sides. Not in the right position, but anyway. It's green, 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 and here we are off for another. So they're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide. I think I'm seeing 5 wide at the back of the grid, seeing if they can keep it all clean, and it seems like they sort of do.
Oh 666
my.
lost some places there.
They're 4 wide there. Cairo Samuel as a driver.
666 gets eaten alive. I think that was the 77 of a involved in that one as well. There looked to be some door banging on the exit of turn 1 there. Whew.
Wow,
that was a lot.
That was a lot, but luckily the drivers, most of them, get away unscathed. Josh Collett was at the back of the grid, and that was the driver you saw in the barriers. Anyway, Oliver Upton has retained his position, with James Joyce back there as well. Tristan Dobson in P3, Carl Banning in P4, followed by Ethan Poulton, Tom Davies, Emery Ozduru, and then Caradu P8, Paul Mancunian and Lee Tyler round out your top 10. So that is it for the time being. Whether or not that will change is, that's up for it. A lot of these drivers...
Yeah, Davis is hunting down that. Has gone from 7th, has gained a place up to 6th, and is now hunting down the 95 of Ethan Poulson. Banning managing to get through that first corner melee, and is up into 4th, very much cementing a early lead into the lead of the AM class there, up in 4th overall. The next one is Daniel Kaduru in down in 7th in car number 3, McLaren.
So here we are then. Tom Davies up the inside takes away P5 from Ethan Paulson. The Togo Academy driver won't be happy with that, but the Lexus is on a early mission. Talking with Tom earlier, he was saying if he can get a decent qualifying, he should be able to make his way through. Tom doing very well last time out from P17 to P5, I think it was. And yet again, he's looking to go for P4. That's Carl Banning, the rookie driver. So it's an early rampage on from Tom Davies. Who else will fall to his hands?
As Cairo Samuel gets past Atkinson, as Atkinson runs wide, also giving Lucci the an extra position in the process as well. Further down the field, going through turn 5, I think that was, into the infield section.
Yeah, so a bit of drama there, I guess. But here we are. Oliver Upton still is in P1 at the minute with 0.7 of a second separating him and James Joyce. Tristan Dobson. Well, there you go then. I was about to say fastest lap, but it goes to Oliver Upton. It's an early fastest lap, which is a 1:29.4. Wow, that's a fast lap. Wow. Yeah, that's very very good, isn't it?
Sorry to jump in there. It was Kaduru, Ozduru, and Mancunian went 3 wide almost into turn 1 there. And unfortunately, it looked like Ozduru was the loser in that one, with Kaduru and Ozduru making contact. That was a sentence and a half.
Yes, there's a lot of urus and ooh and Yes. A lot of repetition on words. Richard Baird just fell, well, the failure of the position to Lee Tyler. But there you go, up the inside, the Valkyrie performance. BMW goes, and they're still side by side. What can they do coming into this left-hander? Nothing. Seems that the McLaren is able to, but there we go. There's a Togo Academy driver of Kevin Picari looking to make a move, and there he is up the inside of Richard Baird, taking the spot away and dropping him out of the top 10. So now Richard Baird is P4 overall in class and P11 overall in standings.
Yeah, it's coming out of that, I'm going to call it turn 3 because it's the easiest way for me to remember. If you're on the inside, you've got to really hang out as far as you possibly can to get any drive off that corner. Being on the inside coming out of there, you're almost guaranteed to not be able to hold the position because the car on the outside will get the drive on the exit. So losing out a little bit there, but definitely trying to pick back up and make the places and make ground.
Speaking about making places, that's Tom Davies there up the inside of Ethan Paulson. Sorry, Carl Banning actually. So Tom Davies makes his way into the top 2 rows of the grid, slots himself into P4. So Tom Davies already on an early rampage. He was saying earlier actually as well that Lexus has got a changed wing on it, so it's not going to be very fast at the start of the lap, potentially on the later stages of the circuit. That's when we're going to see him shine. And wow, are we at the minute, eh?
Yeah, that car is flying. I'm assuming it has just cranked the rear wing up a little bit more to give it a bit more rear end grip and stability through the high speed corners of the infield and later sections of the track, rather than trimming it out for the end of the last sector and the first 2 sectors in particular being very, very fast and very straight liney.
Right then, the fastest lap of the race so far is the man in the lead, who's leading by 1 second to James Joyce. Oliver Upton has set a 1 minute 29.210 and is doing exceptionally well, trying to fend off that Mustang. He's actually still pulling a gap to him. But looking down the grid, just having a look at some of the battles that are going on. This is Emery Ozduru on Alexander Molins. The novice driver with the white plate there is certainly making a statement for himself in the mixed with the midfield of the rookie class. Who's that there? That looks like Josh Collett. That's
the much delayed Josh Collett that I'm assuming has had a pit stop of sizable proportions. Fortunately, only a 41-second stop. With the amount how hard that car hit the wall, I thought that was going to be longer. Is unfortunately down 14 places, but I'm sure will do their best to try and claw anything that they can back.
There's a nice little 4-car train here, followed by Tyler with Cairo Samuel, Nick Lucci and Lorenzo Cortini, the DMF driver, all following each other as Cairo Samuel is wanting to catch up to that McLaren. Looking up on the grid to see if there's any more, we have Ethan Paulson on the back of Carl Banning. This is the Porsche on the back of the BMW. In 95, wanting to get past Banning as fast as he can. You know what? I've been very impressed with Carl's pace this season. He has been on it. Don't you agree?
Definitely. Sorry, couldn't agree more. Doing very, very well. Always has been fighting up in and around the top 10. This is what I said about if there's anything major goes on at the front, I think could be in the shout for pretty good finishing position. If there's anything major happens, did see managed in the previous stop. Ooh, big wiggle from the 95 Porsche there coming out of turn 3. Yeah, did see them do very well, making a lot of space for themselves in that first start, and has done basically the same job, keeping themselves out of trouble, knows the cars around they're racing for position in class, so hasn't really pushed it too hard with the cars they're not racing for class position, but hasn't made life easy. It did take Tom Davies a good couple of laps to get into a position to get past that BMW, so definitely no slouch behind the wheel in the slide test.
No, definitely not. You know, these drivers will be wanting to get past each other as fast and as swiftly as possible. We saw the likes of Tom Davies there as he started the race down near the rear end of the midfield top 10. Number 90, the Lexus is certainly making a statement with the fastest lap of the race. It's 1 minute 28.9. So I'm pretty sure he is the first. Yes, he is the first driver in the grid to get into a 1 minute 28. Very, very fast lap times from him.
Definitely, the 90 getting up the inside of the McLaren there through the exit of through turn 2. The McLaren had a bit of a wiggle, managed to hold it side by side. Actually managing to prove me wrong there, going through turn 3. Had the inside and still managed to get the drive on the exit. I mean, to some degree that might just be the grunt that Lexus has in a straight line, but even so, that's still impressive going to manage to pull that move off. And that does now put him 2.6 seconds back from the going to be delayed James Joyce.
Yes, and with the 30-second time penalty of Joyce, it's looking to potentially be Davies for the win. I don't want to say anything just yet, but if Davies can, well, let's say the checkered flag crossed now and everyone finished with how it is at the minute, it would be Davies who takes the win of the championship. Oliver Upton's too far back. Hang on, is it? I would need to check this actually. I like doing the math with this type of stuff. It's actually a bit sad, I think, because. But
no, it's good. I have to do a lot of math for a living. I do engineering. Actual mechanical engineering involves a lot of math. Ooh, that was an incident on their own for the DMF going car. Emery Ozduru ended up going wide through turn 1, and then I'm assuming Coltrini looked at the sausage curb and went, that looks like fun to drive over, and had their own accident.
Yes, I'm sure of it. I don't think that's actually what he was thinking. What I'm thinking, though, is how the heck has James Joyce caught up to Oliver Upton? The Lamb Racing team driver has definitely done very well. He was down on Oliver Upton by 1.5 seconds and has just magically caught up to the back of him before we even noticed. In the background, though, we are seeing Tom Davies starting to catch up to these top 2, so it's going to be interesting to see whether it be a top 3 fight for the leads. I don't want to say anything just yet, but it's looking good, Zita. It's looking good.
Yeah, this one's going to be one to watch all the way through. This top, I'm going to say it now, this top 5 battle is going to be one to keep an eye on all the way through the race. I believe, looking at it, all 5/6 cars have kept themselves clean. They've kept themselves out of damage. They've kept themselves, for the most part, out of excess time. Now, dropping back is not what Joyce wanted to do. Joyce is going to have so much work to do and is going to be buried in the pack, well and truly, coming out of the pit stop. What they need to do is get onto that rear wing and get past as soon as they can and just run away. Being, what are we now, 8 laps in and still not in the lead, that's going to hurt come the pit stops. What Joyce needed to do was to get out there and just run away to the biggest gap possible, because all of that was going to disappear.
Yeah,
on the flip side, Davis just needs to slow him up as much as possible. And that's going to put... Upton needs to slow him up as much as possible and bring Davis into this fight, because then Upton can run away. As soon as Joyce has got somebody behind him that he's got to watch out for, that's going to seriously change what he's got to do.
There's two levels of that point there, though. I think obviously you're correct with the presumption of it'll make Joyce look at his mirrors a bit more. But don't you think as well that if you purposely bring in Davies closer to these, yourself, let's say you are Upton, and you purposely brought Davis into this lead fight, you run the risk of him actually picking both of you off and then taking the lead and going off. We already know that he's the fastest on track by 0.2 of a second, by a tenth of a second. Like, you know, he does have the fastest lap, and he's showing his pace because he's catching these leaders up. Don't you think that potentially, if they did purposely slow down to let him in, it could backfire?
It could do. It could get a little bit tricky. The hope you would have to do for Upton is that you can just... Basically, Joyce has to start defending from Davis, and that takes up all the time and effort, and then Upton can just ignore that and run away, because it stops Joyce from having an attack. Because the issue is with Joyce, we saw it last night, if you're attacking a car and you make a mistake, you can end up losing a place instead of gaining it, which is then going to mean that Joyce is then having to fight that position back against a charged Davis. All of this is just going to slow Joyce up and be completely the opposite of what they need to do.
Yeah, it's very much a case of you need to watch behind your mirrors, behind your car, behind your rear bumper. Make sure that nobody else is coming past. See James Joyce doing exceptionally well, but Tom Davis, he is catching up. You need to think about it like that. He is making his way up the fields.
0.3, at least 0.3 faster the last couple of laps. Last time across the stripe. 29.020 placed 29.30. 33 play and 29.35.
So he is.
That's 0.3 a lap, and that gap has gone from 2.6 now down to 1.3 in about 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. Obviously, it's still a while to go. 48 minutes on the clock. It's still a while for him to do it. Oh, as you see, James Joyce make a little mistake. Yeah, that's okay, I guess. Drivers are allowed to make mistakes, but yeah, there we go. Then the gap now 1.3 seconds, so it wasn't as much this time. I say that Tom Davies gained 0.4 that lap. That is mental. There you go. Then we're seeing as well some drivers coming up to lap the grid already. That is the number 87 car of Thompson. So the orange BMW is going to have to move out soon.
Just saw Emery Ozduru get a really good run against Sam Wheatley up at the pit straight in that BMW against the McLaren. So did very well now to gain that one. Ooh, that looks like a mistake for the 19 of Ibrahim. There, coming out of the last corner, that's an easy place to light a rear tyre up and go for a bit of a spin. Done that one a few times myself. Looks like Oliver Molan's managed to do something against Anil. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your surname, I do apologise. Sam Wheatley's trying to come back against Emery Ozduru, coming through the infield section now. Not really quite close enough. Closed up on the brakes, but I think had to just went a little bit deeper than anticipated there. Richard Bird is on the hunt down of Kevin Bakiri, of all people. Only 0.8 back from that car.
So here we are then. I'm on board at the minute with Tom Davies. The gap now from him to James Joyce is 1 second, and it is actually decreasing 1.4 to the leader of Oliver Upton. Dieter, from the pace that he's showing at the minute, he's looking to potentially catch up to these guys.
as I always like to say, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass.
It's another thing to pass.
As we can see, James Joyce has been sniffing around the rear wing of Oliver Upton for 3-4 laps almost now, plus, and still hasn't managed to make anything stick. So it's one thing to catch, and Davis has got the pace to catch, but it's a surprisingly tricky track to overtake on. So it's going to be a case of where does that car get past, and if so, how? Now, to some degree, all he has to do is to stay on the back of this group of these two cars, and it will be a freebie in the pit stops as Joyce drops back. However, that doesn't deal with the problem of Oliver Upton and whether there is an undercut or an overcut that is played on either part. Given the pace, I would almost be inclined to try and get a little bit of an undercut with these cars. If you can work it to get out and clear track, I think the pace that Davis has got, that's probably the easiest answer to do it cleanly and out of the way and do it through the pit stops. Because I think doing it on track is going to be a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, where, like you said just then, the little motto that some of the drivers have, quite a lot of these people, they have the straight line speeds, and they almost put themselves, the top end of the drivers anyway, they put themselves, when they're at this position, into a state of, I'm just doing qualifying laps, or like, it's a practice session. Pretend it's a practice session. It's not, it's a race. But what these drivers do is they'll almost go, it's a practice session, calm down, you're doing fine, let's just take it back a notch and get the laps in. White line to white line, that's what I say to myself when I'm racing in real life. It's just white line to white line, do your lines. And this is something that I think Tom Davies is doing at the minute. 8/10 off now to James Joyce. So he's under a second, separating the first to third. Davis is looking to come back up now. His last lap time there was bang on with the top three. A 1 minute 29.4 for all three of them. Davis is still the personal. Oh, we're looking for a move for the lead there. It's James Joyce is looking for the inside, which is allowing Tom Davis to catch up to the back of the pack. The Lamb Racing driver was just unable to make a move, as we're seeing now. Oh, we're thinking that the Lexus was going to go for a move under the braking zone there in turn 3. And he is all over the rear.
I was going to say, Mustang lit the rears up on the curb on the exit turn 3, which gave the Lexus a bit of a sniff into the little bit of a sniff in that chute down into 4. Unfortunately, the Lexus got a little bit up on the curb on the inside and has just dropped back ever so slightly from that.
Yes, so the Davis driver wanting to catch back up to these cars. He's only 5/10 off of James Joyce. James is very close to his championship rival. But with Tom Davis being so close to James Joyce, this is the thing that matters, especially with that 30-second time penalty. I think we're actually forgetting that he's got that penalty. This is going to mean a huge thing for Joyce to know that he's got Davis in his rearview mirror, and he's the one with the penalty. When he goes into the pits, he'll be doing probably near enough a minute in the pits, whereas Davis, by then, will have done half a lap.
Yeah, so Joyce will be stopped for an additional 30 seconds. Now, a normal stop, as in time stop, is about 32 seconds. So effectively, it has just doubled his pit stop time.
Wow, that is tremendous. That's really not what you want, is it? Especially when you're leading the championship. You know, James has been doing so well these past couple of rounds, and it just seems to be that the Astons, well, to be honest, it's not the cars, it's the driver. Davis is the better driver out of these three at the minute. He's shown that he's got the straight line He's got the speed and the times down, but like you said earlier, it's just about overtaking.
Yeah, it really is. Much to the same vein, I've also been watching that one, been keeping an eye on the Banning, Paulson and Kaduru battle. Can I just get a quick check on Rookie Championship, where Banning and Kaduru are in relation to each other?
Yes, you can. Just give me a second. I'll get it up. Banning is first in the championship with... Oh, who was it? Ozduru, yes?
Kaduru. Daniel Kaduru. Number 3 McLaren.
He's down at 18th.
Oh, okay.
89 points.
I mean,
so
it's a hell of a showing at the end of this, for the end of the series to be currently potentially on looking for a second in class. So that will jump him quite a few places.
Well, with Richard Baird in P10, it's looking that it will be Richard Baird to be second overall in the rookie championship, and then obviously we have Sam Wheatley in third at the minute, but where's he? Down in P14, so...
He's 14th, he's 5th in class?
Sam Wheatley? No, he's third in class. Sam Wheatley's third in class.
Yeah, but he's down in 5th in class at the moment.
Oh, I thought you meant like championship.
14th overall, 5th in class at the moment.
Yes.
I hope it makes sense.
Right then, let's have a look for some action so we're not just watching these guys. Here we are then, Emery Ozduru, as we were just talking there on the back of Cairo Samuel. It's BMW on BMW action. The novice driver is certainly making a statement for himself, keeping it with one of the amateurs. I like to say they're amateurs, but they're really not. They're up there with the pros. Actually, the top 3 drivers, potentially even top 4, are beating the cut-off time for the amateur class around here by a lengthy margin as well. So that means they will be online to be pros potentially for next season. Emery Ozduru then is just struggling to pass the number 69 car, the Demon Tweaks sponsored car. And yeah, it's quite tough, isn't it, when you've got 2 cars that are the same. It just comes down to the driver, I guess, doesn't it?
It literally comes down to setup and who can manage to do what with their car, and who's going to be that little bit braver, who's been that little braver with the setup, and who's got a little bit more straight line speed, or maybe that little bit better through the corners, as it is completely side by side through turn 3 there, and up into the infield section of turn 4 and 5. Demon Tweaks car of Cairo does win out in that one, has the inside line, but Ozduru is definitely sniffing around well and truly on the back end of that car.
Absolutely, 2/10 off of the back of the 69 car, and my oh my, is he making a statement for a novice. Yes, he does have the 5-second time penalty, but let's take that out just for a minute, because in the pits it's not a huge deal, I guess. But he is doing absolutely exceptionally well for what he is. Only done a few rounds, and there we go, the pit window's open, so it's going to be interesting to see what the top drivers in the grid. Just for an update as well, Tom Davis is in 2nd overall, so that puts James Joyce's championship standings not great. So at the minute, Davis is the one who leads the championship charge.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Davis didn't see it on camera, has managed to get past Upton, Joyce, and is hunting down Upton now in that Aston Martin. So we shall see where this goes. Like I say, we've got pit stops coming. Joyce has got that massive chunk of time to add on to their pit stop. I might be inclined, as it sits, to possibly dive early and just hit that reset button. You've been pushing really hard. Taking that slightly longer pit stop will give you a chance to kind of reset your brain, chill out, and then you can come out and just nail as fast and as clean of a set of laps as you possibly can afterwards, and just try and make up whatever places you can.
And that's what James Joyce is going to need to do as well. He just needs to get his head down, like you say, and get past as many people as he can, because there's only a certain amount of drivers that it is physically possible for that Mustang to get past. At the minute, we are looking at just trying to figure out where he would be if he went into the pits now and served his penalty. He would be down in P17, I think it is, but with Tom Davies and Oliver Upton up so high where they are, that's really not great for what he is. As you see in there, James Joyce just struggling a bit with the grip, it seems.
Yeah, I've noticed the back of that car getting a little bit twitchy, a little bit hard to drive, so I wonder if that car's been pushed. Again, it's the other thing that's making me say maybe he just needs to take that pit stop, get a fresh set of boots on that car, and get the grip back. It's surprising how quickly the tyres can start to fall off, particularly when you're pushing that hard. As we see, Oliver Upton has pitted out of first.
Wow, so Upton into the pit earlier on, which means Tom Davies does take the provisional lead of the race. So Upton is trying to, I guess, undercut his opponents. It's too early to determine whether that'll be the right call or not. The battle that I'm looking for at the minute is Daniela Caradu on the back of Ethan Paulson. The Togo Academy driver is taking quite a lot of pressure from the number 3 car.
As is the Richard Baird and Lee Tyler. Lee Tyler getting a really good run out the first corner on that BMW and doing quite well there. So that's another one that I'm keeping an eye on there. But McLaren can't seem to do anything too much. Again, it's McLaren's doing quite well. McLaren on Porsche, that Caradu and Paulson battle.
It does seem to be a bit more of the McLarens do racing the Porsches, and the Aston Martins are in the mix as well. It seems to be quite a BMW heavy grid, this, isn't it? It is actually a rookie car, people would say. It's a good, strong car that's got mostly everything in what you want to happen and what you want in a car to start out in this racing.
Yeah, it's quite a forgiving car. It's pretty nicely balanced. It's big, it's kind of heavy, but it's very forgiving.
Words! Never mind, sorry, I just thought Lee Tyler did the move of the century, and then I realised Richard Baird was going into the pits. Yeah, a brilliant I was about to say it's a brilliant move around the outside in the second last corner, but no, he just sort of went around the outside of a car that was slowing down. That makes me look a bit stupid. No, Ethan Paulson does take provisional.
It's easy done here because of where the pit line starts. It starts a long way back before that penultimate corner.
Yes, yes it does, yes. You need to slow yourself down, get to the inside and do your best at that. Ethan Paulson does take the lead of the race with Caradu in second, Kevin Kakiri, the number 58 amateur driver, in third, with Lee Tyler now in this Tyler Racing rocket ship, I think you could say, for who they are up against.
Ooh, this is about Oliver Upton and Tom Davies coming out of the pits. I hadn't realised both of them were in the pits. Upton has got the advantage and has a gap of about 1.2 seconds. Down for 7th and 8th overall is that battle. So that is where those two have filed out at the end of their pit stop in relation to each other and the rest of the grid. So everybody ahead of those cars needs to pit. Daryl Longername with a 15-second penalty as well.
Can I also say as well, James Joyce is down in P10. That's not actually too bad. No, P12 now, so I do take my words back, that is pretty bad. Especially with Oliver Upton and Tom Davies being so, there you go, James Joyce dropping back yet again. So Upton, both of his championship rivals, 6 places up, 7 places up. That's not what you want to be differencing you guys with Cairo Samuel, the number 69 car, ahead of him. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
looking
is...
here. Sorry, Paul Mancunian on Anil Ukugulu. I definitely just butchered that name, but that's what I'm going to go for. Round the outside he goes, and I think, yeah, there we go. Anil is going in for the pits now.
Waiting for the pits. Mank has pitted, so that will be just resetting itself there after pit stops. So that's nicely done. Mancunian up into what will be up into the top 10. Has had a bit of a mixed bag of results from what I am aware of in that Mustang. So yeah, had a bit of a mixed bag. I hope that can finish strong with the season as it ends. I know he's had some rough ones earlier on with incidents and what have you. I know got caught up in a couple of accidents last week as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens as Ethan Paulson is into the pits from me promoting Daniel Kaderu into the provisional lead at this moment in time. So that is a rookie technically leading the race.
Wow, I don't know how long that'll stay for, but hey, best of luck to you, Daniel.
I mean, well, look, it's probably about a lap, because that's about all they've got left in terms of time on the pit window.
Yes, probably. But I mean, hey, if you're leading it, you're leading it. There's nothing taking it from you. Just looking over, and what happened to Oliver? That is because they pitted. So just a bit of clarification. Yes, so Oliver Upton. Well, no, actually, Ethan Paulson is the one who's leading at the minute. But there we go, Oliver Upton and Tom Davis. They're just overtaking him as he's coming out of the pits. So it's 96, 90, and 95. That's very nice for me to see, because with my OCD, that's quite nice to see. Carl Banning slots himself into P6 overall, so it is a rookie driver up there in the top boys. Banning has really impressed me, to be honest. He's done very well. He's won every race he's been out there this season in the rookie class, and he's had some good positions in the bag. Richard Baird as well, doing very
well. Yeah, Richard Baird doing very well. Had a little bit of a moment there on the exit of turn 2. Runs a little bit wide at the hairpin, but nothing too major, as we see Kiri, Kaderu, and Longer Name all in the pits to serve their stop. This will be the last 3 cars to serve their stop, which should promote the leaders Oliver Upton and second place Tom Davies into their appropriate positions respectively. Tom Davies not seeming quite to be pushing quite as hard. That gap still hovering around the second or so mark, although did make up 4 tenths on that last lap with a 29.0 versus a 29.4 for Oliver Upton.
Well, the thing is, Zita, I think Tom knows that he doesn't need to push as much. The gap between him and Oliver is too big for Tom to know that Oliver can beat him in the championship. So at the minute, Tom is leading the championship by a comfortable margin. You know,
very true. He just needs...
James Joyce back down, 10 positions back down. So they're realistically looking at James Joyce leading the championship. Whoa, something happened back there as we saw it. But yeah, anyway, back to the chat there with James Joyce. Tom has no need to push. All he needs to do is finish the race where he is, with the fastest lap, which would be a nice little cherry on top. And the championship is his. Obviously, Carl Banning is the car behind him, and he's a rookie, so that's no need. Ethan Paulson is too far back, and he's not even realistically in the fight. Oliver Upton can't catch him, so like you say, it's just there's no need to push.
Yeah, there is. However, they are all racers, and they are all going to try and go as fast as they can. So...
And here we are then. Well, as you said, they're all racers and they're all trying to push as hard as they can. Tom Davies is only 2 tenths off of the back of the Aston Martin, the number 96 of Oliver Upton, is feeling the heat from the championship. Well, at the minute, he's the championship leader. And going round the outside, Davis wants to do it. Can he get the switchback? No, he can't. So he's trying to go around the outside, and it's a lovely move. And I think he has got it sorted. And there we go. So we've got a new race leader. It's Tom Davis. So at the minute, it is Davis in the lead for the championship. That was very funny, actually, wasn't it? As I say that he's not going to push, he goes and takes the lead away.
Racers gonna race.
Racers are going to race. I think if they're not racing like that when they are,
James
yeah.
Joyce is trying to have a go at Richard Bird on track, and that is going to be basically straight up the inside into the hairpin on the brakes. No harm done, no harm, no foul, and is going to be trying to hunt down the 1.7 seconds now to Liam Tyler. Gap to leader is 28 seconds. So there you go. Has actually, based on that, as everything's all washed out from the pit stops, hasn't cost him an entire 30 seconds. He is technically under the 30 second mark that he would have gained in terms of pit stop time.
Yes, it's quite interesting to think about that, actually, isn't it? Oh, here we are then. I thought we were about to see Anil Okunkulu. You know what? I'm gonna get that name eventually. I'm gonna get his name. I'm gonna speak to him. I need to get that name sorted. But there we go then. So we're trying to see if he can get past as fast as he can, and it doesn't look like it's actually him. That seems to be the likes of Ethan Paulson, who's coming through to lap him. So that is Ethan Paulson, the number 95 car, just lapping him. So now, Tom Davies has pulled a bit of a gap to Oliver Upton. The gap now is at exactly a second. So Davis is definitely the fastest car on track. He still holds the record, not the record, is it? It's the fastest lap of the race, which is a 1 minute 28.970. His last lap time was a 1 minute 29.680, which is also the fastest on the time on the track. Let's see what lap time he puts in as he comes across the line here. It's 1 minute 29.245. The gap between Upton and Davis has decreased, but the difference between the two's last lap there was 0.6 of a second, so Davis is definitely the faster one between the pair and definitely the fastest on track, keeping these low 29s in, coming in consistently. This is what you want, isn't it, Zeta? Consistency is key.
Consistency is key, and could I just point out, Carl Banning has just gone 0.5 faster that lap than Oliver Upton. 29.3 for Banning, 29.8 for Upton. Now, there is about 10 seconds or so between these two cars, but that is not hanging about at all.
Oh, absolutely not. We were talking about Banning earlier, weren't we? He's been on really good form, I think. You know, he's just been up there with these amateurs, and I'm not just saying he's been up there, you know, top 5, top 6, you know, top 10 at least. He has put in lap times that are with these guys. I just want to say as well to all the viewers out there on the YouTube and on the Twitch, please do vote for Driver of the Day. If you want to, I'll see if it works there. So it's exclamation mark, vote, and then you pick the car number that you want. So if you said Tom Davies, you put 90. If you wanted Oliver Upton, you put 96. And if you wanted Carl Banning, you put 987. If there's a car out there that you don't know the number of, please do just ask.
That hasn't worked.
It has not. Yes, I know.
I'm glad it wasn't just me last night. This might be a hashtag blame hate moment.
Oh no, you can't really blame him, can you? Sometimes technology doesn't do technology things.
Technology just doesn't work. Yeah, highest finish. I think it might be the highest finish for Mang that he's had all championship. I know he hasn't had the best of races. Where is he? He's up in 6th right now. So yeah, 96 getting a lot of love for Oliver Upton in the Aston. 1, 2, 3 for 96 there. Also, apologies, it was 299 last night for the Pro Series. I forgot to mention that at the end of the stream last night. James Joyce is trying to go up the inside of Liam Tyler and gets that one done as a bit of a rude one, but gets it done cleanly through turn 3.
But here he is, Lee Tyler, looking to take the move back.
Hey,
So they're
Tyler,
still
coming
side by side, yes. But no, the Lamb Racing machine does take P8 overall. And Lee Tyler, the rookie actually, he is a rookie driver, so it's not even for class. He's just doing it to sort of put it in his face, saying, haha, I can take it back to you. And the joke's on you, sadly. James Joyce is on a mission, and he's on a roll, and he's going away. So the gap now between the leaders between Davis and Upton is 3 seconds.
Just as a quick heads up, looks like YouTube doesn't work, but Twitch does, so those that have a Twitch account, feel free to jump in there and vote there, as it is being verified and working in that end of things. It looks like it is the API for YouTube not working.
How odd. It's technology doing technology things. Don't you find it funny as well? I thought about this the other day. 100 years ago, children at school were asked, what do you think the year 2025 would look like? What would technology be? And they said, oh, we'll have flying cars, we'll live in the sky, we'll live in space. No, do you know what we're doing on our Wednesday evenings? We're watching we're watching cars in a game race around. And you know what? I think I'd be more happy doing this than be living in a flying car. Well, I don't know actually.
That's a complicated one. I mean, ironically, on the same note, my day job is genuinely repairing cars from literally about 100 years ago. So yeah, it's an interesting step back in time doing that. But yeah, the way things have panned out is very different to how people thought they would.
Absolutely, and I guess that just says as well, that's something you can say for motorsport in a whole as well. You can't predict what's going to happen. Just like James Joyce here, he got hit with the bad luck, and he got hit with the penalty hammer. And when you get hit with that, it usually leaves a sting. But he has bounced back, hasn't he, from P14 to P8? That's almost up by 7 positions. So he is doing the right
pushing.
things.
He's got one. It's 1.32 per carry, of which I've just been having it on in the background, just seeing chew through the field. He's doing all right. He's getting through it. Also, speaking of people just getting on with it, Emery Ozduru, the novice, taking it to Richard Baird in the BMW. That BMW on BMW battle is raging on quite impressively well.
Yes, definitely. It's quite interesting as well to see what all of these drivers are doing. I mean, my eyes are still fixated on Carl Banning. I mean, he is up there with the likes of the big boys. Yes, the gap is fairly substantial, but he is still keeping it up with these amateurs. Who do you think has been your driver of the day, Zeta, the one that has personally stood out for you?
Might have to say it's either Kadero or Banning. Both of them, not just in the top 10, but like both of them top 5 for rookies. And we've seen the pace that's going on. They've managed to stay out of trouble. And they've managed just to do very well, so I'm kind of stuck between the two of them. I kind of want to side with Banning, because I did say earlier on. Sorry, we're also just seeing Emery Ozduru do a fantastic move up the inside at turn 2. on Richard Bird there. The hairpin, very nicely on the brakes, makes that work and has run away. Yeah, so jumping back, Manning, I did say it was on the cards for a good finish, potentially on the podium for that car, so I think it's probably going to go with that. He's been consistent, he's been fast, and he's kept to. He's done very good the last 2 rounds that we've seen him in keeping out of the steward's eyes, which is a really, really important thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you keep it to yourself and just keep cracking on with what you're doing, you can just make your way through, and that's what I think James Joyce is doing at the minute. He is just cracking on, he's making his way, and now he's on the back of Kevin Pikiri. The number 58 car will be under pressure from the Lamb Racing very shortly. As you're seeing there, just a slight bit of moving over from Pikiri. The South African driver is going to be wanting to defend for position, but I'm not sure if that will be possible with Joyce's just sheer speed. As we're seeing here, the move will be coming on, and it's looking to go around the outside. Can the Mustang take it? And yes, he can. It's looking to be a straight line race, and with that big chunky V8 engine of the Mustang, it's looking to be Joyce who takes P7, but Pikiri's not letting this one go. Under the brakes they go. They're still side by side on turn number 3. So what can Pikiri do? He's got the inside for this left-hander. He's looking to be able to take the move, but he's getting squeezed. There's a bit of contact between the two as Joyce does slam the door on the South African of Pikiri. The 58 car has to yield, but he's not going to be happy with that. So Joyce up to P7, and he is closing the gap on the race leaders. Whether it'll be enough time for him to be able to come back and take the championship away from Davis, that is what we'll see in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's got to do a place every 2 minutes. There's 14 minutes to go, and he's in 7th.
It's going to be quite tough at the minute, I think. 14 minutes is not a long time. James Joyce is going to be wanting to take it up as much as he can. Kevin Pikiri, obviously, as well, is a very fast driver. But it's just he was unable to take it to him. The gap between Tom Davis and Oliver Upton is 3.5, practically 4 seconds there. So here is Upton and here is Davis. Just looking down the grid, and we're seeing now Atkinson a second off of Dickman. I'm trying to see if there's any more action. I don't think there is.
No, it is basically those 2 battles.
So let's keep our eyes.
Again, it's BMW's. It's the Atkinson-Dickman BMW battle there. It's another BMW battle going on, as Pikiri is slowly being dragged away by Joyce. Yeah, so it's another one. Just as what I can see from here, I would say Atkinson has the advantage, if for no other reason than the front end of Dykeman's car is looking a little bit less than brand new and factory fresh, whereas Atkinson's is. So I think one of them has had a bit of a visit to a wall at some point.
Yes, I think that's what has happened. We saw earlier at the start, Josh Collett went into the wall, didn't he, with the Mustang?
Yeah, that also dropped out of a really good position. Has made his way back up to 22nd after that. After being, I think, within 3 or 4 laps, being over a lap down.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
So that's genuinely impressive. Has managed to pull it back for that time. As Lee Tyler has had a slightly uncharacteristic mistake coming out of the first corner. I'm assuming that was sausage curve related. Let's have a quick flick back and see what happens here. On the brakes down into turn 1, and ooh, it was the inside sausage curve rather than the outside. Launches the car up off almost onto 2 wheels, and bounces that thing around and has to try and recover from there. Does a very good job of keeping themselves off the racing line.
Yeah, he's done very well to keep that on track. I'm sure if it was me I'd be struggling. Ethan Paulson gets a drive-through penalty, and Richard Baird gets a 5-second penalty. So we'll have to see what that is about. With that 5-second, though, Richard Baird may potentially drop down to 4th in the rookie standings. I don't think he will, as the gap to him and Cairo Samuel behind is 6.7 seconds. So I think he's safe for now if he keeps at his pace.
Yeah, Richard Baird was minor contact position not gained lap 25 for that one. Excuse me. And Ethan Paulson, that will be a track limit violation, as a stewards don't tend to give out drive-throughs unless it is either something particularly egregious or something that has caused somebody else to end up with a drive-through. Have seen that a couple of times where people have been a bit overzealous trying to get into the pits and have been given a stop-go 30 because they've given somebody else a stop-go 30 by bumping them through the pit limit line.
Oh dear, that's not great.
No.
I'm just looking now. Ethan Paulson is 9/10 off of Carl Banning, 8/10 now, and he is closing in. So the Toga Academy Porsche is slowly but surely making his way through.
As a heads up, thank you, Green Coal. Where is Wheatley? Wheatley is in 12th overall, and also apparently the driver of the day is over the timing tower. Might need adjusting in OBS.
What's this, sorry?
Driver of the day is apparently in front of leaderboard. There is plans to adjust that. To adjust the driver of the day, because none of us can find a decent place. Yes, it is. It's smack in the middle of the timing tower.
Yes, thank you, Ridicule. Sam Wheatley is at the minute in P12, in case you can't see. So the number 22 McLaren is in P12. In class, he is 4th in class, with Richard Baird in 3rd, just under 10 seconds away.
There we go.
So yeah, it is just this little battle here between Ethan Paulson and Carl Banning. Overall, it is a fight overall for P3. It would be nice to get a nice little podium at the end. What a way to round off the season, eh? A podium for the rookie, but I'm sure Ethan Paulson will be wanting to. There we go, he's going to serve his drive-through penalty. Let's go on board. It's going to be fairly boring.
It'll be an interesting thing. I am just having a quick look down at the timing tower whilst you are watching all of that. We have a little bit of a battle going on down towards the back end of the timing screen. Anil Unkadulu, I'm gonna go with that, is under fire from Ree Sousa in the McLarens. That is McLaren on BMW. Both of them looking a little second-hand as they come up to a very slow-moving BMW. Who is that? Either way, that has given the a brilliant line on Ree Sousa to get up the inside of Anil through the penultimate corner there with the slow-moving BMW. I'm not actually sure. Was that which BMW that was? Oh, it was Lucci by the looks of things, judging by the colour scheme on that car, the number 17 down in 15th. So that was, I think,
oh my days! Ethan Paulson, you very sneaky man, going for the move on James Joyce, almost having contact with him. Yeah, I don't know what was on his mind there. I think it was trying to get past as fast as he can, and he almost got past. It was a great effort by him, but yeah, no, just wasn't able to at the minute. The blue flag shown in the background. We're seeing all the drivers getting lapped near the further end of the field. But no, Paulson is doing very well. He's up there. James Joyce, what a recovery drive though, hey?
Out into 7th place. So yeah, doing pretty impressively well. Gets a bit unsettled over the soft curb on the exit turn 1, but that's not unsurprising. That curb is pretty massive. Yeah, doing very, very well. It's decent recovery for that car, given the sizable penalty that they had at the other one.
Yeah, the 30-second penalty definitely didn't help James Joyce, but he's come back to it now, and he's really proven his worth, hasn't he? He's really proven how good of a driver he is. Obviously, a lot of these drivers are on wheel and they're racing with some high-tech sim equipment. James Joyce is just on a little controller, and if he's on a PlayStation controller, I've just got even more respect for him. Because PlayStation controllers, for me personally, are not the right thing to be racing on for a simulator. But no,
I was going to say, I think it depends on the generation of them, because I believe they've got significantly better than the last time we dealt with one, but yeah, I do know what you mean. They are not always as great. So yeah, controllers in general, like there's a lot of fine tuning you have to do to get it to work on this game to work on a controller. So there is a serious commitment to time and effort on that front to make that work. Also, Ethan Paulson is not hanging around. He is not dropping back off the back of James Joyce, who is currently about 3 seconds back from Paul Mancunian in 5th. So obviously the drive-through for Paulson has also promoted after that drive-through. Sorry, that sentence just ran away halfway through.
It's okay.
There was a sentence there.
Yeah, it was
my brain.
Yes, don't worry about it, Tita. It's okay. Yeah, 40 laps have been marked by this man here, and he'll be on your screen now. There we are then. Tom Davies, the Lexus for the Rampart Racing. He has been absolutely unstoppable today with just under 4 minutes to go. He will be crowned Season 14 Rookie Wednesday Champion. He has been absolutely brilliant all today. He started P7, he made his way up, and yeah. Have you got anything to say about Tom?
Well done. Very, very well done. In general, it's a fantastic drive. Again, kept himself out of trouble, kept himself out of the eyes of the stewards, and has just driven a race. Made some decent moves, made it stick, and made it work. So, textbook, to some degree, just flat out textbook.
It is. It very much is textbook finishing here for him today, and textbook driving. I've seen Ethan Paulson with his headlights on. I guess that's to try and distract James Joyce, but I don't know if it will work. The Lamb Racing driver is looking for a decent finish here today, but I don't know if he can squeeze into the top 5, as the gap to Paul Mancunian is just over 2 seconds. So Mancunian looking to take this 5th place home with him tonight. What I am looking at though back there is... Oh no, it's gone now. Oh, never mind. I was about to say Emery Osduru, but he's dropped back all of a sudden to 0.8 of a second.
I think that was the BMW, that's the Ogre Academy car, as Emery Osduru goes through on Richard Baird. Richard Baird?
Richard Baird, yes.
Yeah, oh, hang on, that's all for position, because that's the Kevin Picchieri car in front. Sorry, my brain just couldn't fathom that. I thought that was a car that was a lap down. No, that is actually for position. I will keep an eye on this one. That is very much
we're looking for a move here. No, he's just too far back. Ethan Paulson, I thought he was going to go for a move. He's just unable to. Oh no, here he is. James Joyce makes a mistake, so up goes Ethan Poulsen. It's a drag race into turn 3. The number 25 car on the outside. What will these two do? The Toga Academy driver looking to take back his position that was his earlier on. James Joyce slams the door and shuts the door. And oh, Ethan Poulsen goes off into the barriers. So that Porsche there struggling to have the grip. Just lost the rear slide out on the exit. And yeah, he's back down into P7 with all of his hopes and dreams crushed.
Yeah, very much so. That was a big visit to the old Barry R there. Didn't go well. And yeah, just lit the rears up, pushing probably a little too hard. Got the car unsettled, lit those rears up, and that was day done, game over on that one. Which does free James Joyce up to try and chase down Paul Mancunian with maybe a lap to go? 2 laps to go? Where is...
It's the last lap now. It's the last lap now, and Tom Davis is on fire, going through the cars and lapping them. The clock will strike 0, and he's only got a few more corners to go. Turn 1 brought carnage. The red flag reset everything, and his title rival faltered under pressure. The Red Bull Ring gave us drama, disaster, and domination. But it's Tom Davies who rises above it all. Fastest lap, race win, and now a championship crown to go with it. Well done to the Lexus, the only one out the grid. And my oh my, what a way to win in style. Up 7 positions with the fastest lap. It's Tom Davis who wins it all.
Yeah, I can't put it better myself. Very well done. And some celebratory donuts are going to be had in the last, up in turn 1. There will be a few cars by the looks of things. Just going to see a few cars through. In that long shot from the helicopter, we can see how close Joyce was starting to get to the back of Mancunian there for 5th place. Unfortunately, it's not to be for Joyce tonight. Down in 6th place is going to bring that home. Mancunian rounding out the top 5. Joyce, Poulsen, Bakiri, Ozduru, Bird is going to round out your top 10 finishers.
Yeah, we'll see where Richard Baird does slot in with that 5-second penalty, so we're going to have to see after everyone has crossed the finish line. But wow, what a way to finish in style, hey, Tom Davis, taking the 212 points home away with him at the championship. What a way to finish in style, eh?
What a way to go out in style on that one. I think there's going to be some suggestions to 1 or 2 drivers that they might be a little bit quick for season 15 if they have signed up. If not, I'm sure there will be further races and series coming up to take part in, and they are going to be more than welcome in all of those. Like I say, anybody is welcome to join into any of the events we do here. We do specifically run I want to say lower paced series of events here with the rookies. However, they don't feel that much lower paced than normal. So, yeah, very well done to all involved there, and we shall see who we have hanging around in the waiting room, see who wants to come and have a chat.
Yeah, so any drivers that are listening, please do go into the interview. My words did not work there. Any drivers that are listening in, please don't be shy and do come in for. Oh dear, I don't know what's going on. But yes, please do come in and have a little chat. Just trying to get everything sorted, and we'll go into the driver interview section with us now.
Wonderful.
Okay then, so let's have a little look, see if anyone's wanting to talk at the minute.
We do have a couple. We have our championship elect, I think for both categories we have.
Yes,
Tom Davies
yes,
and
it will be.
Paul
Yes.
Bannock.
Right. Well, let's start off with the amateur champion who we've just seen cross the line. It's Tom Davies for today. Tom, hello.
Hello, Rio. How are you?
I'm doing very good, thanks, mate. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. How are you feeling after that? P7 started. You brought it up, and you got the fastest lap to top it off. What's going through your head?
Honestly, I think obviously it's all provisional because the results aren't published until the weekend, but I think that will seal the championship. Particularly given Joyce got unlucky with that penalty. I mean, that'll be a whole conversation in itself, I reckon. But for me, absolutely buzzing. I couldn't have written it up much better. It was, it was outstanding.
Yeah, it was very very entertaining to watch all the way through, especially with the T1 carnage at the very start. What did you see at that particular moment?
On the red flag
Yes.
run, the first attempt. Yeah, so I was keeping an eye on the guys around me, obviously. I got on a good jump off the line. I was up effectively one row on the grid because my reaction time was better than it normally is. And so I was aware that I was trying to outbrake the guys around me to not end up 3 wide, but not end up with the guys ahead. And then when I looked one row further ahead of that, I saw them 3 wide. Now, what I don't know is whether it was 3 wide the whole time and James closed the door, or whether James had a clean run at it and the other 2 appeared next to him. That I've not seen, but I know that James feels a bit aggrieved by it, and I wouldn't be surprised because 30 seconds for that, from my perspective, even if there is a penalty, that I don't know, but 30 seconds seems very harsh.
Yeah, it very much, from what I saw, and obviously I can't comment on it, but from what I saw, they were 3 wides, James was in the middle, and it was a James Joyce sandwich, and the rest was history, to be honest. And then James got spun around, and everyone just saw the Lamb Racing Mustang facing them, and everyone just went, just, yeah, not
Yes.
not great, is it? But yeah, no, how are you feeling coming into here today, like before the race started, before everything went underway?
Before the race, I was a bit worried, to be honest. On Saturday, my pace was dreadful when I did my first practice session. On Sunday, it was still quite dreadful, although not as bad. I was averaging 130.8, maybe something like that, which with no ballast was going to be nowhere near the front. And then I got in a practice session on Monday where we had Ethan Paulson, Oliver Upton, and James Joyce. A lot of us all running together, and I learned a lot from following Oliver for a few laps. So in a way, I ought to say thank you, because I might have got there in the end anyway, but it certainly helped get rid of some of the legwork, just seeing where he was braking in a front-engined car. Also, the Aston's quite different, but it does help in terms of the curbs he was taking and where his turning point was and so on. And learned from that, got down to a reasonable place. And then it was about qualifying inside the top 10, because the last couple of weeks I haven't managed that. So I felt okay. I got a good last run at it, spun the rears up a little on the exit of the final corner, having played around with the traction control when I probably shouldn't have. But still got high enough up on the grid where I was going into the race thinking, this is doable. It's not going to be easy, but it's similar to what I did at Paul Ricard last season, for example. It's similar to what I did at Zolder. Like, if I work, it's on, and I managed to get up to the front group, and from there, I'm sure you saw it all.
Yes, no, we certainly did see it all. And I'm not going to lie, we didn't actually look at you for half the race because you were just gone. But it was quite nice to see a little bit of a 3-way battle when you started catching up to James, Joyce, and Oliver. What was running through your head when you saw that those 2 were up ahead and you were slowly catching them?
I was in 2 minds. I had a lot of time catching them to think about how I was going to approach it, and there's plenty of straights to have a think as well. So I was trying to figure it out. I knew that James had a penalty. I'd seen that even before we got the race underway, technically. And so in one mind, you could sit a second back, not bother with it. James will drop back, and you could have a go at Oliver in the second stint. In the other mind, I was thinking, if I get up to the back of them and I get an opportunity at James, it's going to give me a chance to get all over Oliver when he's got used tires, for example. I mean, he might put new boots on the car post pit stops and be gone. I'd seen his pace in the practice session. It's like, yeah, I can't play this too sensibly. Let's get on with it. And got up to the back of James. I can't remember if he made a mistake or not, but took the first opportunity, and that was always the goal, was to take the first one, because the Lexus around here I don't think it's got a massive strength. I think it's fine everywhere, to be honest, on review. And so for me, it was close up in the slipstream, have a go as soon as it's on. And I was close enough into the braking zone. I'd passed, I think it was Tristan with a similar move earlier on in the race. I was just thinking, I'm just going to let the brakes off here. Like, I know I'll get it stopped for the apex. The exit might be a bit compromised, but his will be too. So eased off the brakes, got back on them again. I was through, and it's like, right, now onto the back of Oliver. What can we do about this? And I was hoping to get the undercut, but that didn't work.
Well, he still got it in the end, and I guess that's all that matters, isn't it? It was funny because we were going through and we were doing the math as the race was going on, and we were like, well, okay, James Joyce at the minute, if he's got this such and such, and Tom's back here, where is it? And it was very close at the halfway mark, coming up to the pit window. It was fairly close between you and Oliver, but obviously with the points deficit, it was yours to be. So, all I've got to say is, if everything goes to plan and the results are what it should be, have you got anything to say as the Season 14 Amateur Champion?
I mean, firstly, thank you to everybody who I was racing. There was various points where it was very close, and it would have been so easy for somebody to make an honest mistake and get into the side of me or something, particularly at Suzuka and Zandvoort, where I had to come through the field a bit. So firstly, thank you to everybody I was racing. Secondly, thank you to everybody who is involved in running this, because I joined in Season 13, was getting up to speed with it and stuff. I hadn't sim raced in a long time, and the people who run it, the community, and in turn, I suppose, you guys here in the commentary box as well, it makes the whole thing an amazing experience. I get to join some practice sessions on my own at the weekend, join some practice sessions with people who I genuinely call friends now, come a Monday and a Tuesday evening. We race on a Wednesday, and then on a Thursday I get to rewatch the race with fantastic commentary. So I can only say thank you to everybody involved, and I don't think I'm going to be back next season. I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't won 2 crowns in a row. They'll let me come back even if I wanted to. But I'll certainly be involved with Toga and looking for special events, or maybe one day the Pro Series. Keep an eye out.
Well, maybe one day. You were up there with the cut-off time, weren't you? With a 1:28 in the end. So that's a pretty solid lap, don't you think?
It was a quick lap. I was trying not to burn through the tires, and I got to a point where it's like, right, if I'm going to cap James off, like catching by surprise, I'm going to have to put a hot one in here eventually. So I chose a moment where he didn't get a good exit out the final corner, because that's where it seemed like Oliver and James were pulling away from me. Chose the lap where I hadn't lost time in the final corner. I was like, right, this next one I'm going to be on him coming out the last corner next time. Got the fastest lap whilst I managed that, which was pretty handy. And then I think I improved by a couple of thousandths at a later point, either before or just after I'd passed Ollie. Again, another point where it made sense for me to get on up the road. But most of the time it was 29.3, 29.3. Make sure that my last lap is still a 29.3, and then it'll be okay.
Right, fair enough, man. Right, well done for today. We've got a couple more drivers to talk to, but no, congratulations, you've done very well. And yeah, we do hope to see from you next time out. So for now, that is the last time that we'll speak to you in the commentary box for a little bit. But yeah, thank you very much for talking to us today. Well done, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening, Rio and Zita.
Thank you. See you later. Wow, what a guy to talk to. Let's talk to someone else. Let's talk to Carl Banning. Carl, how are you doing today?
Whoa. Well, I finished that race at 0.0 liters of gas.
Oh my word, that is perfect, eh?
Well, it was nerve-wracking at the end.
Yeah, you sort of coasting. Were you trying to coast? If there's any way to do that in this game.
Yeah, I started to try to lift and coast with about 5 minutes left, and that I started with about a 7-second gap to now I can't remember his name. Shit, the guy behind me. I told you I was gonna remember names, and I'm not remembering names.
Okay.
And that ended at about a 1-second gap.
Wow.
The last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So.
5 minutes brought it back. Hey, to be fair, that 5 minutes is a pretty long time. But yeah, no, fair enough. That's pretty tough. How were you thinking coming into here? Obviously, you've won every race in the rookie class anyway. You finished first in the rookie class every race this season, and that's another one to add to the bag. Total domination in the class. What are you thinking next?
Well, hopefully I get moved up. Get some more fun battles going. I hope Paulson didn't mind the intersplit battle we had going on, but I had a great race with him behind and a couple passes, exchanging position. Yeah, it was. I frankly I didn't come in to this one quite as confident, but managed to perform better than I was expecting to and squeak out the win.
Well, you fended off Richard Baird pretty well, and at the minute, Carl, you are, if the maths is correct and everything's normal with the penalties and everything, you are season 14 rookie champion. So,
Yeah,
how are you
so
feeling about that?
I don't know if I processed it. Uh, First championship win on any sim racing, so pretty freaking sick,
Pretty good to
honestly.
say, eh? Carl Banning, the champion, eh? That
Yeah,
has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
I do like that.
Well, do you think maybe next year we'll see? Not next year, sorry. Next season we'll hear Carl Banning, the amateur champion.
Oh, I don't know about that. Those guys at the top of the AMs, they're fucking quick.
They are very fast, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah, I definitely don't have Upton and Joyce pace, and frankly, Tom Davis is quick too.
Yeah, they're all at very fast speeds, practically on par with the pros actually. Um, yeah, it's the fact that you're keeping up with them, even in the rookie class, is very good to be honest. Me and Zita were talking about it earlier. We were saying that, to be honest, you were probably one of the best drivers out there in our eyes, just on how well you're performing in your class.
Well, thank you. I
Well, thank you
appreciate
for giving us a.
to see the whole race. So.
Yes. So at the start, with the red flag and all the carnage that happened, what was running through your head at that moment as everything was going on?
Um, don't die. I managed to barely squeak around the carnage at turn one, so I was comfortable and in a good spot, so it wasn't massive relief that we got the red flag, but just it was a little I don't know, I got had some nerves building in that downtime between the restart. Uh,
Were you
just
nervous
I
at the
don't
start of the race?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. As I said, I did not feel that comfortable coming in, and then managed to find some extra pace in the qualifying session. I think it was a little cooler than the
Hmm.
practice session that's been around all week, and happened to be a little more comfortable at these temps, and it all worked out, I guess. And
We
that being said, I still don't think I, I don't, I'm not, I'm happy with my performance and that I won, obviously, but I still don't feel comfortable on this track. I feel like I'm barely on the edge of losing it all the time.
Well, if you're not at the on the edge of grip and facing danger, then you're not pushing it hard
That's
enough, I
true.
guess.
That's true.
But no, you've done very well. Is there something you'd like to say to any people listening out there? I know we do have a couple people in the comment sections and in the live streams that do actually support you. Um, is there anything you wanna say to anyone?
Thank you for the support, and hopefully I'll keep performing next season.
Well, we hope to see you next season. I hope you do join us. It would definitely be a big loss if you don't. But yeah, no. Well done, the provisional rookie champion for season 14. Right,
Sounds good. Thanks for having
Zeta.
me as always.
Yeah, thank you for racing. Zeta, have you got anything to ask him?
No, very well done. Wonderfully consistent driving to finish up where he did all season. So yeah, very well done, and hope to see you up in the hopefully the next season, if not that one, the one after that, season 16, if not 15. See you in season 16. So yeah,
Cheers, Carl.
very very well done.
Cheers, Carl. Thank you very
much.
much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Okay, so that's Carl gone. Let's get Richard in. So this is Richard Baird, our last interview of the evening. Hello, Richard.
Good
How are
evening,
you
Richard.
doing?
Good evening. How are you guys?
Yeah, we are doing very well. I want to know how you're doing, to be honest, after that race. Wow, that was quite exhilarating, wouldn't you say?
It was one of the tougher races this season, I think, with the track being so short and yeah, you made a mistake. The back markers caught you quite quickly. So yeah, it was really a track that stays so consistent.
Yeah, and you know what? You did very well to keep the consistency. I'm pretty sure, now you can't take me on this, but from where you finished and the points championship, I'm pretty sure you've managed to scrape second. Well, I say scrape, but I think you've managed to take
I
second in the rookie championship. So, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, very, very chuffed. It's actually my birthday today, so it's
Oh, happy
quite
birthday!
Oh, happy birthday!
Thanks so much. Yeah, so very, very chuffed with that. The podium was just short the last season, so I'm very, very chuffed to be on second this season. Yeah, couldn't ask for more really.
Wow. Well, what a way to finish, on your birthday. Have a nice little birthday evening race and pull out a performance like that. We did keep seeing you in your car, and yeah, we did spot you a couple times. Looking back, you had some nice moves there. Who would you say were your rivals on track tonight?
It was definitely Samuel Wheatley. I had to keep him behind me in order to finish second in the championship. But I had a nice tussle with one of the Tyler brothers and Kevin Prattley. So yeah, it was. I had some cool battles. I defended really, really well, I think, on some of those challenges. So yeah, very, very happy with their performance, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that was very impressive, to be honest. What do you think is your favourite corner of the Red Bull Ring?
Um, to be honest, I really like the first and second corner because they're spots where like most of the action happens. So yeah, I never battled with any of them today, and during practice. So they were actually the best because that's where all of the overtaking happened, and you had to defend really hard. Even the third corner. So I'd say the first three corners were uh, the most difficult and likely for people to try and make some moves.
Yes. So, you know, with the red flag at the very start of the race, what was running through your mind being there? Where did you qualify? P11, I want to say, around there?
Yeah.
Yes, so around there, yeah, I can sort of remember. So obviously being quite far back, were you involved in a heavy crash, or you know how did it feel for you being back there and
The
with that big crash?
the first one was I got through, but I had to go wide and off the track. But actually ended up getting bumped on the side, which wouldn't have been a problem. So if it had carried on, I would have actually been up in the top four. But yeah, it's not very nice when everyone else, gets taken out and it's just a complete mess. I'm actually glad I got red flags because it's actually nicer when the field is closer and everyone's having a bit of a chance to challenge.
Oh, that's actually very nice of you to think of the others. Personally, if it was me, I would have just gone bye and just taken advantage. I don't know if that's cold-heartedness or if that's just the competitive side of me, but yeah, that's quite nice to hear of you, mate. Yeah, what do you think was your favorite your favorite part of this race today?
Um, I mean, it might sound odd, but my favorite part was actually when one of the Tyler brothers actually undercut me in the pit. I was really impressed at what he had done. He stayed out an extra lap. I didn't get into the pits too fast. I hit my pit limits a little bit too soon. And he undercut me, and then yeah, it was a fun battle trying to catch up from there. And yeah, it might sound odd for that to be a highlight, but it was. I think it made it more exciting for me to have a challenge on my hands.
Well, it's always nice when you have a battle or a target, if you'd say so. How did you find the pace out there on the track? Was it tough to get back into your rhythm, or was it fairly easy to get the laps down?
The pace was quick tonight. I must say the top 10 was really quick and really consistent. I definitely didn't have anything in me more to get any higher than I did today. So I've got some work to do in order to get up to the pace of the top runners. But yeah, they were super quick today.
Wow, well done for today, and well done in the championship standings. I do wish you the most of luck for your future endeavours, one may say. I do hope that you join us next season. Are you planning to, or are you gonna call it that?
Definitely, I'm definitely going to try and come up into the AM class and see how I can do in that class. If I can get the qualifying right.
Yes. Well, we do hope that you do the best that you can out there, and we're going to call it at that. So, well done. What a way to finish off season 14. Second place overall in the championship for the rookies. You got to be very happy with that, Richard. Um, yeah, well done for today, mate. You've done absolutely really well all season. Always a pleasure to talk to. So we'll wish you good night.
So much, gentlemen, and yeah, thank you again for the work you put into hosting these seasons. It really does make it quite an event to have a whole commentary team and these interviews afterwards. It makes it feel more real and connected. So thanks for the time you guys take to do this.
Thank you for joining us today, mate. We'll see you next time.
Good evening, man.
See you
Ciao, ciao.
later.
Night.
Right then, so that is Richard Baird, and that is season 14. Sita, do you want to take us out one last time?
Very well done to everybody who took part, especially well done to those who have finished in the top 3 in class. Well done for all for joining and having such a good race. And yeah, bring on season 15 and we'll see you then.
Bring on season 15. Come on, when is it? Is it tomorrow? When is it?
Do get onto SimGrid and have a look at all of that. You will find our rookie series on there. Sign-ups are open for season 15 for that one. All the details are there, as can be found all of our other races that we have running as well then. So do jump into that. Do enjoy and come and join us on track. You have seen the action that we have going on. There are endurance races for those of you that like to do that kind of thing. Or if you and your mates just want to hang out for a day on Discord and drive as fast as you can. That's always a good option. For those that want something shorter, there are shorter events, and we have LMU-based events as well. So keep an eye out for that. Also, keep an eye out on our YouTube and Twitch. There are various events coming up that will be hopefully shown where possible, and we shall hopefully catch up. I believe our next event is the members race on Saturday, so we will catch you then. Thank you very much. Any final words, Rio?
Well, no, you took it all out of my mouth and you said everything that was needed to say. What a season we've had, and yeah, just the racing this year, this season has been absolutely amazing. I've only been here for, a season and a half, and I've enjoyed every time I go out. Partners with everyone that I get partners with. It's always a pleasure, Zita. So thank you very much for joining me today, and we hope to see everyone out there next time around. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you when the